Rachel Tucker.
And I'm David Godshall, and we work at TERREMOTO. TERREMOTO is a landscape architecture office. We have a team in Los Angeles and we have a team in San Francisco. In Los Angeles, we're about 15 people, in San Francisco about 7, and we do projects in both places. What does nature in Los Angeles mean? What's interesting is that in Echo Park, for example, if you have some basic botanical identification abilities, then you can almost like read through time. In that, like the hillside that is opposite us right now, in the undeveloped lots, there are still like remnant hillsides of Juglans californica. That's an ecosystem that like almost essentially predates human settlement in this zone, and it's there and it's like right in front of us. And so I think that's kind of revelatory when you start understanding that the city has kind of like infiltrated this pre-existing ecosystem, but still in chunks and shards. There are all these like intact native species doing the thing that they have always done. Rachel and I are lucky, as is Theodore Payne, in that we're living in a moment where native plants are in large part where we kind of as a city are like moving towards. Another way of thinking about nature in the city is that like, if you scan like the panorama out here in front of us, like it's all these layers. It's a city of immigrants, and all of us brought our gardening traditions with us, so that there are all these layers, and some of those gardening traditions are good and some of them are maybe less appropriate now, but that's kind of what makes this city so great, is that there's all these layers to it that are pretty tremendous and powerful.
We're just talking about a little moment I personally love up here in the entry garden. This great diverse mix of natives. We've got our Artemisia, which is just smelling heavenly, our snapdragon, and our black sage, which is kind of interplanted everywhere on this site. It just does so well in the light and the dappled shade. It's really taking off everywhere. And then these great verdant greens that you sometimes get with natives in front of the Eriogonum giganteum as a backdrop is just making it really pop, and I love that about it. And something that TERREMOTO does often, we like to kind of overplant sometimes so that you get this amazing kind of mingling of different textures and colors. Like, where does one start and where does one end? One of the questions we often get from clients is, can we mix citrus productive trees, other productive trees with natives? And the answer, of course, is yes. We love mixing a productive tree with our natives. Just a few things to keep in mind. Citrus trees and other fruit trees really like water, whereas natives don't require as much over time. Something to keep in mind if you're going to irrigate the natives. Natives like pop-up or prefer pop-up. Citrus don't like their barks getting wet and they like drip. So give them some breathing space. And then plant pollinators, pollinator attractors. Something that blooms, a beautiful sage nearby. It's a perfect pairing with a citrus tree.